on the Master of Unlocking podcast.
Does your shirt have an official Nintendo seal of approval?
Yes!
I knew it was going to be a talking point, so I didn't ask about it.
I left it on there for you guys. You see the official Nintendo seal of approval. It is a sticker, though.
It's a sticker. Did it come with a shirt?
It came with a shirt.
Okay.
Ellie wants to go pick out. I've started a thing. So we went to Target, and I was like, let's go look at TV. She's like, no, let's go get your shirt.
Oh.
I was like, I don't know, Ellie. I think we got the one winner from last time. I don't know what we're going to get over there. She's like, what about the dinosaur one? I'm like, I mean, Jurassic Park's okay, Ellie. But she's like, well, are there video game ones? And then I don't know how. I guess maybe she knows, because she can't spell Nintendo, but she knew this was like a Nintendo shirt.
She knew it was a video game shirt somehow.
Yeah. Like maybe it was the
N
or the...
I forget, do you have a 64?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering if she recognized the ends.
Oh, maybe
from the front of the thing.
Maybe that's
or the seal of approval might actually be
straight
on
from the seal of approval, yeah.
on one of your boxes.
It could be. Oh yeah, that's totally
all over.
possible.
I mean, I'm looking backwards behind me. Yeah, the Nintendo seal of approval's all over the place.
Is it also on carts, like SNES carts?
Yeah, like Super Mario 3. I see it there. Mario World. It's smaller.
Oh,
but
it is on SNES carts.
It's on the bottom left corner there.
It's on Mario 64.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's how she knew.
Maybe.
Mario 64, especially because I just brought that home.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. I mean, my proudest thing I ever brought home, Ellie, including you and your brother and the dog.
No.
No, all right. Well,
no, we all know
close.
what it is. It's
Close.
that. Yeah. Gosh, I just looked over my Nintendo over there. Does it have? Wait, do I have a real Nintendo over there? Because
No,
I don't see that seal of
I don't see the
approval on it.
seal over there.
Well, there is a box covering up that other one, so maybe it's on the power set, not the deluxe set. That deluxe set is just.
I can't
Or
see.
you just have a bootleg set.
That could just be a straight bootleg set.
Yes,
that's where
Caleb,
we are.
you're on to something there. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
bootleg set. I mean, this is a bootleg podcast, so what are we
Right.
even doing?
Yeah.
I know what we are doing.
What are we doing?
The food segment.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, it's our weekly
been a
food
while.
segment. So it's been 2 weeks. Did everyone have their Jimmy John's summer wrap?
Chicken Caesar
wrap. Yes. And Jason, you didn't bring it with you this time.
No,
right?
I had it actually. It's so weird. I had it the following day for lunch,
Oh, good.
like right away.
Well, yeah, I guess, because you were gone for a week. So, yeah, you're not knowing where you would be, I guess, and whether there would be a Jimmy John's in sight.
Yeah.
So what did everybody think of this thing?
It was delicious.
I love it.
I love this thing. This is great.
It's so good.
Like, I don't want a sandwich anymore.
How about
from
the
there.
tiny little croutons
I know.
on the
The
inside?
tiny little croutons made it.
Ah,
Yeah, and like this chicken was nice and like shredded and
tons of flavor.
tons.
It's great. How many
Yes.
calories is this?
I don't
thing?
want to know.
It was like
It's
it's like
gotta be bad for
900
you.
and some.
Yeah.
It's one of their more high calorie things.
It
yeah, it's
tastes like
soaked
it.
in ranch. I mean, that's
It's great, but it tastes like it.
man, that
Yeah.
thing is good.
I know it's not. I bit into it and I was like, this is not remotely healthy, but boy, is this
Right.
good. Oh my
Well,
God,
what
are
is
those
like a
tiny croutons in here?
What is their standard sandwich? Like 600 calories?
Probably like,
Well, it depends on what you get, but if you do like one of their,
Like, say I get a turkey sandwich with
The
mayo,
turkey- that would be-
tomato, and lettuce.
that would be like 600 and some
Yeah.
probably. Yeah.
Mhm.
a lot
But
because
if you do
of the
like
bread, right?
if you
Mhm.
do like the roast beef, that's getting like 800.
Mm-hmm.
If you do a wrap or the unwich, not the
Yeah.
wrap, but the unwich, then you can have whatever that is because it's mostly the bread. You're right.
Yeah, and this was like, it gave you a wrap, but it also gave you just tons of mayo and ranch
So
and
good.
whatever. Is it ranch and
No,
mayo?
it's
No, it's
well
just
Caesar
Caesar
Is it
dressing.
straight up
It's
Caesar
Caesar
dressing?
dressing,
I thought it was
yeah.
something. What was? Oh, there was ranch seasoning was in it.
Yeah.
Because I knew it was like I thought it was something goofy that it was in there. It was ranch seasoning. That they
Yeah.
had in there. Man, that thing was good.
Yep.
But what would everybody give it out of 10?
9.
Yeah, 9.
Yeah, it's a 9.
9.
Yeah, that's for 9s across the
It's
board.
good. I hope we haven't made a list, have we? We're not making a list.
We kind of not
we?
of rankings, but of the things. we're making a
Okay.
list.
All right, that's good. I'm glad we have a list because we should easily identify the ones that we all loved.
Well,
This
we'll,
is
we'll
right
have
at
the end
top.
of year tournament.
We've had 2 in a row.
Yeah.
Ooh. Tournament, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll get to that in a minute. Let's hit up real quick here. What would be
I forgot to
the
look.
next podcast here? I know I'm just looking up
Right.
Chew Boom here.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, what?
I will say there was one day where I didn't. So I usually do a meal delivery service. I'm not going to say which one, not for free advertising.
That's right.
Because we are for sale.
That's right, sponsors.
So
talking
there was
to you.
there was one week where we were going to have a work dinner. So your options on this delivery service are 4 meals a week or 6 meals a week. I couldn't do 5. So I had to go down to 4 because I had a work dinner, which left me with an open night.
Mm-hmm.
So guess what I did?
Another Caesar wrap.
No, I didn't do another Caesar wrap.
The fries from Taco Bell.
No, I didn't do that.
Okay.
I did go back to BK.
Oh no.
I got the Jason, and I
Oh.
added bacon on it.
Oh my god. And
It was so good.
oh, I've never done
I was
that.
gonna say, I was like, you haven't done that.
I did exactly what you do, except for added bacon, and it was so good.
Really?
Yes.
Caleb, way to take it up a notch.
Yeah.
Is that a 10?
That's a 10.
Oh
no.
Yes.
Uh-oh.
The boat with bacon.
Yes.
So lettuce, tomato, cheese, bacon.
Bacon. Yes.
Caleb, way to step
It
up.
was, oh my God. So, yeah.
It's okay. All right.
Well, okay, so here's the thing. I was going to go to Panda. I'm going to be honest here. I was going to go to Panda.
That's
The
your
line
go-to.
literally wrapped all the way around the building. So I was like, nope,
Are
not
they
doing
giving
this.
away free Panda?
I don't
Like, what's going
know.
on?
I don't know what that was.
All right.
I was like, what else is close to here? And I came up with BK. And yeah.
I'm glad you. I feel like that sandwich is not talked about enough. They
Yeah.
don't advertise it. It's been the same sandwich since like
Yeah.
1970. The chicken boat.
Yep.
It's so good.
And I was thinking about a chicken, but then I was like, nah, I just want to go. Yeah.
So I have had since the King's launch. I think I've had 3 of them,
okay.
Mm-hmm.
and I have since had the boat.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Chiking 9, boat 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
You were
Yeah.
kind of.
I thought the Chiking was my favorite.
I
But
think at
have-
one point you said that the Chiking was the best fast food you've ever had.
I-
You went that far.
I still think it's really good,
Mhm.
but I would go back to the boat.
yeah.
I think I would go back to the boat. But the King is number 2. So the King now owns 1 and 2. 1A, 1B.
Okay.
For
Okay.
me.
There is a new sandwich at Burger King, but I don't. It's the King, but it's got garlic, like roasted garlic on it now.
Oh,
Like
the Bacon King thing?
yeah, the Bacon King thing, which we didn't like, and then now they they made it even drier by
Well-
throwing a bunch of garlic on it.
Okay, but we didn't like the garlic at Sonic, so it could be different at BK.
No, it's like literally like hunks of like fried garlic.
Oh.
It's like garlic straws.
Mhm.
Thick
Oh.
garlic straws.
Not like
Yeah.
garlic sauce.
No. Mm-mm.
No, it's something to make that thing drier than.
Can
what
I,
It was.
while you guys are scrolling through there, I have
Yes.
a quick update for you.
Yes.
I went to the south, got stung by a stingray. I'm fine.
I know we've gone through. this.
But I decided I would try Bojangles.
Oh,
yes,
nice. Good
yes,
call.
Yes, go ahead. I'm curious because this is chicken on the bone.
Yeah. So Bojangles, I learned they had all day breakfast. So I had the breakfast biscuit. It's a spicy chicken fillet with their biscuit.
Okay.
Pretty dry.
Mm-hmm.
Chicken, great flavor. But I would still rank like Chick-fil-A's way ahead on the flavor scale
Okay, yeah.
of Bojangles. But the biscuit, dude, the biscuit,
Really good.
very good.
Hardee's
Better than
level?
Popeyes. No.
Okay.
Hardee's, Bojangles, Popeyes.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
So I'm glad I had the biscuit.
Okay.
And I also got chicken tenders
Okay.
and mac and cheese because everybody kind of had a little bit
Yeah,
of everything.
it's family style. Yeah.
Chicken tenders are okay.
Mhm.
So I would say if you're ever by Bojangles, breakfast is all day. Breakfast is the way to go. And then I revisited Zaxby's because we don't have Zaxby's here. Zaxby's definitely better than Bojangles. I got their classic chicken sandwich because everybody's got
That's
a
what
chicken
I got,
sandwich.
Yeah, when I was there. It's not that great, is it?
It's fine,
It's fine.
but I would still put Chick-fil-A as far. I think what I discovered and what I want to share as I'm driving and I'm thinking about what I'm going to say to you guys about the Bojangles and Zaxby's. My thoughts are I think we got the good chicken fast food place. I think we got the best one.
I don't know, man.
As I'm scrolling through Chew Boom, Bojangles new chicken sandwich is listed here.
I think you guys made a mistake getting the chicken sandwich at Zaxby's.
Oh no, I had the chicken tenders.
Yeah.
And their fries are pretty good, but I don't know if I could do them a lot. Like they are very salty.
I had the chicken tenders as well,
Okay.
and they're good.
Yeah.
They're good. But I would still take Chick-fil-A everything over Zaxby's. Zaxby's is good,
Agreed.
but I think we got the eights here.
Yeah, I would disagree with that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really?
What I
Okay.
had at Zaxby's was so good.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The thing I had at Zaxby's that was actually better than anything else was the kids' grilled cheese.
Yeah. No,
Dude,
my daughter had that.
Did you try by
It's
it?
it's
that
the
thing-
toast, man.
It's that there's so much butter on that toast.
They put the chicken tenders on the toast. That's my favorite thing there for sure at
Yeah.
Zaxby's. It's very good.
Mm.
Yeah. Have you had that?
No.
It's a chicken tender sandwich on that toast.
Oh, that would
And they drizzle
that would be
sauce.
so much better. Okay,
Oh,
yeah,
that's
that
the
would
item.
Be,
That's
that'd be
the
the thing
thing.
to get.
Yeah.
Yeah. As I'm scrolling through Chew Boom here, I've only got a couple things that I'm seeing. One would be, and this would be like out of our wheelhouse completely, but Little Caesars is doing a cookie dough brownie M&M explosion.
That sounds disgusting.
It's a so it's a brookie. So you know how like a brookie
Oh, it's
is.
a brookie. Okay.
So it's a brownie and then cookie and then M&Ms on top of that. So that's out of our normal wheelhouse.
Yeah,
but that's
okay.
and then the only because a lot of stuff is just not in our area.
Right.
Or Blaze has a new pesto garlic cheesy bread.
Well, did you see? Well, I don't know. Does Hardee's always have what Carl's Jr. has?
Typically, yeah. Did I miss something?
New sourdough star.
Sour. I mean, they always kind of have a Frisco burger. Is that just a Frisco burger?
Charbroiled beef patty, perfectly layered with crispy bacon, the brand's classic sauce, caramelized onions melted. ... I didn't actually.
I think
click
that's
on
just
the-
a Frisco burger. So they might not talk about it at Hardee's because it's been a Hardee's sandwich for years.
Maybe.
Isn't that just a Frisco
Well,
burger?
there's also this article right above it that Hardee's adds French toast dips. Previously only available at Carl's Jr. So maybe they're a trading item.
I
Maybe they are-
yeah,
that could be
I
a
bet they
thing.
are. I bet that's a Frisco. Yeah,
That sounds just like a Frisco burger.
that's interesting.
No, Frisco Burger doesn't have caramelized onions on it.
It doesn't. Oh,
Maybe it
okay.
doesn't.
No.
Oh, it has like tomato and bacon on it. It's like tomato, bacon, mayo, and I think that's it.
Well, let's
Okay.
do a Hardee's.com here real quick and see if that's an option.
Burger King's bringing back cheesy tots.
Have you guys ever had those?
I have
No.
had those, and I don't really like them.
I have. I think they're okay,
But you're a
but
big fan of the Casey's cheesy tots.
not anymore. They changed the recipe,
Oh no!
or the supplier's different. The new supplier is they're gross now, unfortunately.
That stinks.
No.
I'm really striking out here on everything. Cat's losing his mind upstairs. All right, I don't know what do you. I feel like I'm stuck here.
I want to try this this sourdough thing if it's an option.
All right, so let's do this.
Let's do the sourdough star.
And if it is just the Frisco burger, Caleb gets to have a Frisco burger. We get to have a Frisco burger.
You know
Yeah,
what?
okay.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah,
Because
let's
I love
just
a
do
Frisco
that.
burger.
If
All
it's
right.
just if they don't have it, then we just get a Frisco burger and we'll rate that.
And I
'Cause
feel good about your
we
your
haven't had
chances
a
there.
we haven't had a good fat thing in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, here we
Yeah,
go.
here we
Well,
go.
I mean, the wrap is disguised as a not
Yeah,
fat thing,
yeah.
but it is certainly a fat thing.
That's true. I mean, it's basically a salad just thrown.
You know what?
together.
I'm not doing anything unless there's tiny croutons in it.
Okay. All right.
I refuse. Ah, so good.
That's fair. All right. Okay. So that's what we're doing next time. So I do have a question. Did we do our job of entertaining you on your drive home with
You
our
did.
podcast last
You
week?
did. Congratulations. What generated this list of things?
Okay, so here's what happened. Logan and I were sitting at trivia one night before it started, just having
Okay.
some small talk, and we're like, "What are we gonna do to appease Jason's request of entertaining him? We should do something really dumb. What's the dumbest thing we could possibly do?" And then I don't remember.
I don't remember what order it came in, but we started talking about ranking things, just
Yep.
things. And then it was like, and then it somehow turned into a bracket of something. We're like, well, what is it going to be? What are we going to rank? And then it was just like, no, just nouns.
Yeah. So I did a Google search of a bracket of random things. One came up, but it had a lot of like, I don't know, weird stuff on it that I didn't. So I used that as a baseline and then replaced
A few things.
A few things, yeah.
Okay.
With literally randomnoungenerator.com.
Okay. So how did Bill's Plumbing and Heating
That was
get
on
into
there,
it? That was
whatever
on the
yeah,
random
yeah.
thing.
Mhm.
Bill had a good run.
He did.
Bill had a damn good run.
Or
Yeah.
Jim did. We
Ji-
couldn't
yeah,
determine
Jim,
if Bill's an actual
Bill, who-
person or not.
You guys went into the weeds there. It's
Yeah.
like Logan's actually looking up ownership and who's Jim. Oh, Jim's the owner. Maybe Bill's no longer with us. So it was like that got dark fast. And so we wanted to do Bill, but maybe posthumously we had to do Bill, and it was all very. It was good. I think 3-day weekend's pretty all right. I want to say Brenner got done dirty, in my opinion.
Brenner made it far, didn't he?
Yeah.
I don't remember where
know.
what Brenner
I thought
lost
Brenner
to,
made the
but-
final four.
I was
didn't he?
also waiting for Pancakes and Brenner to be like
Yeah, I
head
know,
to
right?
head. I was like, oh, here it comes. And then Pancakes got eliminated. So I'm driving home and I'm like, ah, no, Pancakes is gone. What? Nothing. Leave me alone.
I'm glad it entertained you. Like, so it was, yeah, because we were like, we were texting. I was like, oh yeah, wait, he can't look ahead because I didn't want you. I wanted you to hear all of the categories organically. Like I didn't
Yep.
want you to like look over at the far right side of the bracket and see, like, oh yeah, Pancakes is up in the top right corner over there. Like, no, you had to hear everything as it happened.
I was waiting for the matchup. And then it just wasn't destined to be. It's all right. It just wasn't meant to happen. That's okay.
Because it was 3-day weekends versus comeuppance, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was what we ended up with.
I do appreciate you guys going with the non-darker tone there. Yeah. I mean, everybody loves comeuppance. They do, especially when someone deserves it. But
Mhm.
that's not what we're doing here, really.
No, we tend
That's
to be
not
a
what we do
happier
here,
podcast.
right? Yeah,
Right,
we're
yeah.
trying to spin positive.
Not that spiteful.
Yeah. Just spiteful enough
Let me
to
tell
have
you
it be
about the
number
video
2.
games that I hated.
Yeah, I know, right?
All right, carry on. This is what we do here. We hate things.
Yeah.
We do. We hate things. So we're gonna hate on. What thing do we want to hate on first? I don't know. Has anybody played anything new?
Yes.
Okay, so have I.
Yeah.
I played one new thing.
Okay. Look, Caleb, let's start with you because you always end up playing like 8 things, and so we'll start with you on this one.
Well, only 2 this week
Okay.
or this time.
Mhm.
But the new thing that I played was Axiom Verge 2,
That's
Okay.
out.
which just randomly dropped.
Oh.
Yeah, it
Last
dropped as
Friday.
like part of a Nintendo Direct, like
Yeah.
indie Direct. Yes.
Hi, Jason, first time caller. Caleb, is this only available on Switch?
No.
So it dropped concurrently on Switch and Steam?
The Switch,
Yes.
Switch Epic Game Store,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
and PS5. One of the consoles.
I don't know.
I don't remember which one. Either Xbox or PlayStation. I don't remember which one now. I can look
Okay.
that
I
up.
don't think it's on Game Pass.
No.
No, it's not.
But it is on a console as well, which surprises me. Was Axiom Verge on both
Axiom Verge
consoles?
was on PlayStation 4.
Yeah, I don't think it was on Xbox. I think it was on PS4. Oh, so I would say it's probably on
There,
PS5.
yeah, there was a string of indies that hit PS4 versus.
okay. Nintendo Switch, Epic Game Store, and PlayStation 4.
Some,
PlayStation 5 version coming soon.
Interesting.
or if you can play the PS4 version on a PS5.
Yeah, but I've only played like an hour of it. It's been this is hell week at work for me.
Sure.
So,
Sure.
but I'm really enjoying it so far. The thing that sticks out to me so far is the music. I mean that the soundtrack for that first game was incredible.
Oh, it's amazing.
yeah, and
Cellular Skies.
yes,
Whew.
yes,
Yeah.
nothing as good as Cellular Skies yet, but
That's a
it's-
tough
yeah,
one to beat.
I know, right?
Yeah, that one's like, that's up there with like any of the best Hotline Miami tracks.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as video game music,
I'm
Pretty good.
like hearing it in my head right now.
really.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, Cellular Skies.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. I'll have more about that. I'll have more to say about that later. But so far so good.
What about you? Did you play anything new?
I did. I'm just gonna turn on the TV here.
Oh.
and
Okay.
just so you can see what I've been playing.
Oh my. Really?
I've been playing Scarlet Nexus.
You've been playing Scarlet Nexus of all things.
So Caleb, you've been playing Scarlet Nexus,
right, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sure.
So
Tell me about it, JRPG man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
are we getting you into anime now, or is this?
This is it. So I am. I am about 7 hours or so into this.
Production. Can we get the live feed?
Yeah.
Logan's.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
I'm
We'll-
level
we'll add it
17.
in
If
post.
that tells you anything. So, I mean, this is about. I mainly just wanted you to see the art style and everything of this up close. Like this is.
Looks cool.
It's very anime.
Whoa,
There's
menus.
this is the skill tree.
Systems.
There's a lot of skill trees, a lot of menus. Here.
Currency?
There is currency to buy things in the store. There are like because
What
even
the hell is going on? Logan's playing Scarlet Nexus.
I know.
even within like your items, like there's visual items in here to like give yourself different things like to wear, so you can like put on the black battle attire and Kyoka's charm and all this other stuff.
Can I
And-
ask you a question?
Yes.
Are you enjoying the story or no?
And are you okay?
No, I'm going to be sending this back to GameFly.
Oh, okay.
I gave this as much of a shot as I could.
He played it for 5 minutes.
I played it. I've got several hours in.
Have
here.
you? Okay.
Yeah.
Prove it. Where's the account?
Here.
We don't believe you.
Okay. Save.
Okay.
Yeah. The other thing is I can't stand is the people in this thing are called the OSF.
Yeah, that's a little. Yeah,
It's
for
a
you.
little too
especially.
on the nose.
Yeah. 14 hours?
No, that's
Oh.
that's what time. So
9
Oh,
hours.
but
9
still
hours.
9 hours?
there was about an hour of
Idle.
idle time in there. So that's what I say. I've been playing
Still
about 7 or
8 hours.
Yeah, that's,
Um,
you might be actually significantly far into the game. I
it's
don't
about,
think it's that long.
It's about 35 hours.
Oh, is it really
Oh,
that long? I thought
yeah.
it was like under 20.
No. When I looked up the how long to beat, it's between the average time is 35 hours.
That might be because people are playing both routes.
Oh.
Because you get to
'Cause you can play as both.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll look into that
So
a little
maybe
further.
people are considering playing
because
both
you
routes
do
as
choose
complete.
between a boy and a girl.
Yeah.
The boy is more of an up close combat person, and the girl is more of a like distance fighter. So I've been playing as her, and she does. But the reason when I say distance fighter, she does her fighting style is psyops. Like you pick up stuff with your mind. It's pirate. It's now I've got your
Go
attention
on.
here. I'm gonna try to do this.
Yeah, here you go. If you want to completely finish the main story
If
in
I
Scarlet
can-
Nexus, you'll have to play through both campaigns. This is going to take 30 to 50 hours.
Yeah.
So one campaign would be obviously half of that. So
Yeah. So this was just before a boss fight. So this will kind of give you an idea. So this is how the cutscenes all
Man, that
work.
looks nice.
So all the cutscenes are like,
it looks like Fire Emblem.
yeah. So yeah, it's basically just like still photos and then mouths moving. Very very future tech anime kind of stuff. I will say that up until the last 45 minutes of this game, the story's been pretty bad.
Okay.
Like it's been very boring. Just like, hey, we're part of this group of soldiers who fight this group called the Others that show up and destroy our city for no reason that they haven't yet even really explained. And also don't really have a big compelling story behind it either. And they just keep introducing more and more of these soldiers that are supposed to be like your group, and none of them have any personality.
But you're like halfway through the game. And you're just going to quit?
There's nothing compelling about it. That's why I keep thinking like, oh, it's gonna hit me. It's gonna hit me here at some point.
No,
and
I kind of respect that about you because I would push through at this point, even
Yeah.
if I was not enjoying it.
But if I'm gonna have to play as some like, because I guess if I were to truly get an ending, I guess after finishing her side of the story, maybe. But now that if I'm gonna have to get the ending by playing both sides,
Yeah.
yeah. So this is like now you're getting into combat here, but so combat kind of looks like I'll attempt to do combat here, while doing this. This is gonna be a mess. So you can see, I'm like trying to pick this thing up.
Well, remember that listeners are on audio, so they
Right,
cannot
so-
see anything that's
So I'm
happening.
trying to pick up a car and throw it at her. There we go. And and then I can call on, so like I can call on my partner's like abilities. So I'm gonna call on this guy's ability here, and now I've got lightning power.
Okay. Yeah, it looks from everything that I've seen about it, it did look kind of generic in combat.
And it's very button mashy in the combat, and it's
And now hearing that the story is not very compelling, it's probably I was thinking about maybe going back to it, but I don't know after hearing that.
yeah, that's where I'm struggling, is that the story's just not there for me. I was trying to see if I could
This doesn't look atrocious. I mean, this looks fine. Looks kind
Yeah.
of fun. Oh, that's cool.
yeah, there are some.
You just lifted up something and
Mhm.
threw it down
Mhm.
on her head.
Okay, yeah, okay. And then this
What's
is called like
this?
a brain drain thing.
Okay.
So I'm like essentially sucking the life force out of her.
Nice. She had it coming.
So yeah, it's fine. Like it's just like I said, the combat is just like I'm literally just sitting here pressing X for the most part, and then
Okay.
I'll and as I build certain meters up, like I can, then I can throw stuff at her. But then if you don't throw it fast enough, she'll catch you with something else, and so it's I don't know.
Speaking of mashing X a bunch, I can tell you about the other game I played.
Yeah, go for it. So yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and turn this off here, but
I just saw the most Scarlet Nexus I'll see in person ever. But
Yeah.
you too,
Probably.
huh?
Yeah.
You're good now.
I mean, I've seen gameplay before, but yeah.
Okay.
yeah, so yeah, I think I'll be bouncing off of it though.
Yeah, but the other thing that I did, I finished Final Fantasy Pixel Remastered.
Oh yeah, that's right. You were playing that last
Yeah.
week. This is Final Fantasy 1, right?
Final Fantasy 1, which is way shorter than I thought it was.
Like how many
I guess,
hours are we
like
talking?
12,
12.
maybe?
Well, I guess that was a NES game.
Yeah.
So that's got to be pretty. I mean, that was long for a NES game.
Yeah, but I did everything. Like everything I could, I did. So one of the things they did with the remaster was they give you a map and it tells you how many treasure chests and how many items are in each area. And I like 100%ed every area as I went through, and it still was only like 12 hours. But for an NES game, like, I mean, obviously the remastered version has quality of life stuff, and it looks better, it sounds better, but the design of the game is still the same. And for it being an NES game, it's really impressive that they were able to do that.
Yeah, I think it was a technical marvel for its
Right.
time. And then when like Final Fantasy 2 and 3 came out, for which were 4 and 6, right?
2 was 4.
2
yeah.
was 4 and 3
3
was
was
6
6.
in Japan. Like those were also considered pretty big marvels for the SNES. I mean, being able to put that long of a game on there with
Yep.
battery backups inside of them and stuff like that. I mean, especially 3 had some higher level pixel graphics than most of the other games.
The other thing I can imagine playing this game back when it was on the NES. There are sometimes where I was like, I don't know where I'm supposed to go right now. So I would look at a guide, but you might not have that back then on the NES. It would probably pad your playtime quite a bit, just trying to figure out where to go.
I'm trying to, because I definitely did not have a guide when I played 2. And I mean, I was 10 at the time, so I had all the time in the world.
Right.
So to just mess around with things.
Right.
But, and obviously no internet. So I'm trying to figure out, like, what did I even do? Like, I might have, like, went to my local Walmart and flipped through a Game Pro just to see if I could find any tips.
But, I think that actually kind of helps with the sense of adventure in that game. Because if you're going into it blind and you're like, I'm just going to experience this game, you're like, oh, I wonder what's under this waterfall. Or like, I wonder what's on that continent up in the Northwest. Stuff like that. And then you just go there and you walk around until you find something cool. And I can see that being awesome back then. There's the way you get the airship is you just walk into the middle of a random desert, and then the airship just comes out of desert, and then it's there for you. Like,
was there a Sid on this airship?
Yes, there is a Sid in this game.
That's awesome.
There's a Sid in every game.
That's awesome. But that's the Sid.
Yeah.
Like that's can't get any. That's the Sid. Like that's
Yep.
crazy.
Yeah.
I wanted to quickly ask. I wanted to remind me what platform this is on for you.
I was playing on PC.
PC. That's what I thought.
But it is on. No, it's not on other things yet, but it's coming to.
It's not on
iOS,
Switch?
Android.
I thought it was. Yeah, I thought they were putting it on all the phones.
I think it's only PC right now.
Only PC
but it's
right now.
but it is coming out for other stuff.
What's the cost on this?
I think they're like what? I think we looked this up last time. They're
$20,
like
right?
$15
$20.
a piece.
15, 20.
something like that,
You were.
yeah.
Yeah, I remember you asking. Also, Logan, you said technical marvel with Final Fantasy VI, America 3, 6 chronologically for the SNES. So I looked up in order. I was thinking about there's 3 games on the SNES that I think are kind of similar to what I think Final Fantasy 7, 8, and 9, and then maybe games inspired by that did in the PlayStation 1 era. So I'll first this is where my head is at. So I'm thinking about 7 because I'm very fond of it. Your favorite game of all time, my second favorite game of all time. And then 8 and then 9. I'm thinking about the generation, the art style, those kind of games, and what 7 did for the PlayStation in general. Like, we got Parasite Eve. We got Fear Effect. We got really like influential games based on Final Fantasy VII's technical, I should say, leaps, I guess. And then I thought about, okay, what are those games on SNES? And those games to me are Secret of Mana. Have you ever played Secret of Mana?
Briefly.
So Secret of Mana, Chrono Trigger, of course,
Yeah.
and Final Fantasy 3 here, 6 in Japan. And so I just looked up the release dates. Can you guess, Caleb, what order Secret of Mana, Chrono Trigger, and Final Fantasy 6 released? They're all different years.
I think Chrono Trigger was first,
Okay.
then Final Fantasy, then Secret of Mana.
It is the opposite of that.
Okay.
1993 Secret of Mana. Have you played Secret of Mana, Logan?
No, I never did.
So Secret of Mana is where that started for the SNES. And then in 94 came Final Fantasy, and that took a lot of what Secret of Mana did and mastered it. Secret of Mana is fantastic. And then, of course, the masterpiece of that generation, Chrono Trigger, is
The
1995 and the last one, like the most polished version of that game that you could have. So I just that made me kind of rank things in my head, and I was like, well, that happened in the 16-bit era, and then this happened. Final Fantasy VII did it again for a new generation of gamers and a system.
Go back even further. I mean, Final Fantasy 1 did this for the NES too.
Which you just witnessed, and I don't have any context for. I only have the 16-bit and the 32-bit like frame of reference, but I want to play this now because this doesn't count for this year, does it?
Yeah.
Game of the year?
Sure.
Final
I
Fantasy?
think we decided that anything counts.
Yes.
Right?
I might go play it then.
Yeah.
What, the original Final Fantasy?
Yeah, I mean, nothing's coming out anyway.
So, Final Fantasy 1, 2, and 3 pixel remasters are all on iOS right now.
Oh, they
they
are.
are?
Okay.
Final Fantasy 1 and 2 are $12. Final Fantasy 3 is $18.
Got
Okay.
it.
And the pixel, this is what you just played, the pixel
These are the
remaster?
pixel remasters. Because I believe 1, 2, and 3 were technically all NES games.
Yes.
But although I think they
Famicom.
but I think only Final Fantasy 1 or I don't remember which one it was that officially was on the NES over here.
1.
One was?
Yeah.
And then there was a NES game or a SNES game called Final Fantasy Mystic Quest.
Different game.
But it's a different game. It's not any
Spin-off.
of the. It's a spin-off game. So, but yeah, 1, 2, and 3 are all on iOS right now. That might be something I do on the plane.
The thing that kind of surprised me most about this game, though, that I didn't realize is how much it's inspired by Dungeons and Dragons. I didn't connect Final Fantasy with Dungeons and Dragons before that, but you go to a village of elves. You explore underground mines with dwarves. Like you pick classes at the beginning of the game that then upgrade into prestige classes later. Like it's really inspired, and I never realized that until I played this. So I want to know now, like, when that shift happened. Like, because if you look at, so I've played 1 all the way through now. I've played 6 all the way through now, and then everything since 6. But I have this 2 to 5 gap now where I kind of want to know where that transition takes place. Because 6 is not that. 1 is that. So.
And 4, and you've played 4, right?
I know.
Okay.
Well, not briefly. I've touched them all. I've not played them all.
4 has characters like from all over the place. Like there's characters that you'll have for like 2-3 hours and then they're just gone. Like, and there's like two really iconic characters. I think there's twins from that game, Porm and Palm. Like, if they did a proper redo of that game, man, like they could really tell a really good story with the twins and what they end up doing for that. Because I remember even being like, I cried. It was a little kid playing that game with what the twins did.
That's good. That's the other thing I want to know is because in one, you're just playing as like basic characters. They have no personality. They have nothing.
Okay.
You're just them. They're the warriors of light or heroes of light, I guess. So I want to know also, like, when that shifted. Like, when did they actually start
When did they
giving
get
people
names?
characters?
Yeah, because like that Mythic Quest game, they had names.
Yeah.
Because I was specifically remember that because I was like, why is like whose name is Phoebe and why is it
Phoebe.
I was a kid.
Yeah, no, it happens to all of us.
Phoebe shouldn't be spelled Pho.
Yeah, I get it. I remember
I
when
mean-
I thought, why is his name Scene? You know? Like,
I had a
he's-
friend say that in high school. We were playing Trivial Pursuit, and the answer was Puff Daddy. So he says he reads the answer as "Seen Puffy Combs," and we were like, "Dude, how are you 18 years old and never have known?"
Sean is spelled two different ways. Yeah.
You know what did me dirty there was Sean Kemp was spelled SHAWN. That's what did me dirty there.
I had a kid in school who was SHAUN.
There you go.
And so yeah, that was like those are the kids I grew up with. Like, what is this?
Yeah.
Who's this Cian person?
Yeah. So I will eventually probably go back and play those when there's gaps in between stuff.
Take us on this journey.
Yeah.
I want to hear full reports.
Yep.
As you go play through 1 through 6. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you might be the only person I know that has done that. Like that I actually know that has played all of them. Certainly not me.
Well,
I never even finished 13.
I'm just not gonna play 11 or 14.
Well, 11 and 14
those
don't
don't count. Yeah.
So what?
Those
what
are
has,
different.
What has everybody played then?
All of them except for 2 through 5.
So do all but 2 through 5. So I'm, I guess 4, 6. I don't think whatever the 7 remaster is. I don't even know what that's called now. Half of 9. I think I've played through 10 3 times. 10, 2, 12, 13, 15.
I've played a little bit of 6. Then I've completed 7, 8, and 9, and 10. And I've gotten like 75% through both 12 and 13, but never finished
Oh,
them.
you never finished 12 either?
No.
12's not great.
It's really good. I like it. So 12 and 13 kind of have a similar problem where it takes like 20 hours for that battle system to actually unlock and become fun. So I totally understand how people drop it early, but once you get it going, it is really good.
I actually played it longer than that, unlocked it, and then just didn't finish.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't think 12 just didn't have any memorable characters for me. I mean, the only characters I remember are Balthier, and that's just because I think I mispronounced his name so many times.
Balthier.
Now I finally remember it. And then the weird girl with the
Fran.
Fran, yeah, like that was
Rabbit
Ears girl. That was about it.
Yeah.
And I didn't I think this was before we were recording, but on both of your recommendations, I didn't start 15 because
15 was fine. I mean, it was.
There was something
It's
about
less than fine.
Yeah, I remember. Help me get this correct. I think you like it more than he does, but you're both on it, and it's because the story doesn't quite deliver at the end, and there's a kind of a
the
dead
end is,
spot there.
Yeah.
There's
Am I remembering correctly?
I'm curious now, though, that they've patched it 1 billion times and added a whole bunch of DLC. I'm curious if they
on Game
fixed
Pass.
any of that.
They supposedly
But-
added story in to make it better.
Yeah.
Like that was
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Right, and I think they cut like a portion of the
Dirty.
end, right? Like a big portion of. Like,
I think the whole second half of that game has basically been redone.
revamped.
really?
Yeah.
The
Maybe
first
I
half
should
is
go check it
actually
out.
not bad.
I don't know.
How many hours?
A lot.
Oh, you're talking.
50?
probably.
Probably 40.
Oh, that's not. It is for me right now. That is too many.
I can give
So many
you
hours right now.
15 other games to play before that one. That would consume that
Yeah.
time.
Okay. All right, fine.
There's like,
Fine.
yeah, there's some parts in the beginning of that game where it's like, yeah, this game's gonna be all right. Like, and then because it's got enough of the 7 battle system, the 7 remake battle system. You can tell that's where this all came from. The 7 battle system is ultimately better, but this was like the start of it. So it might actually
This
hurt
is like
you
a
physically.
super buggy version of that. At least it was when I played it.
Oh yeah, yeah. It was like,
maybe
hey,
again, maybe it's been patched. Maybe it's more fun now. I don't know.
because like 13 was 12 and 13 were kind of like the hey, let's do this active battle thing.
Yeah.
Like, and then 15 was like, hey, we're really making this thing work, and we figured out what didn't work with 12 and 13. But then 7 was like, oh, now we freaking get it. Yeah, this thing's amazing now. So.
Yeah, that's basically it for me. Other than a whole bunch of Pokemon Unite.
I need to get there. I have it. I had almost downloaded at one point, and then I got distracted.
There was one night where I actually managed to get a full squad going.
Oh yeah.
So we played with a full 5-man team, and that was a ton of fun. We got stomped a bunch of times, but it was still a lot of fun.
Yeah, as long as you're having fun.
It's because if you play as a team of 5, you're going to play against other teams of 5. So everybody else is also coordinating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a little worried for you about this.
Do you think I'm going to get into it?
Yeah, we could, because I think you're going to be able to put this thing down, but I don't know about you. I bet you could find yourself like, you're going to just look in the mirror one day and be like, where did 2021 go? And what have I done with my life?
This really is, for me anyway, this is my underlords of this year.
I'm serious, man. I'm concerned with you.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think if anything, you're going to have to peel. I've been, for me, it's Splitgate right now.
Okay.
Splitgate and I are having a good time together.
When does that launch?
I don't know.
Isn't it this year?
It's supposed to.
It's supposed to be this year, right?
Well, I think it hit the official launch date's already come and gone.
Yeah, well, I think it was supposed to be August, but then they pushed it back a month so they could get the servers ready.
Right.
So it hasn't 1.0'd yet then, right?
No.
Oh, okay.
They were in like 0.9 and then they were like, oh yeah, we were going to go to 0.9 to 1.0, but now it's been 0.91, 0.92, 0.92.3.
I think it's like literally the game is literally done at this point. They just need time to prepare for the onslaught of new players.
Oh, okay.
How it is.
Yeah, they did have a section in there where they are now keeping track of my beta record, and it's like, here's your all-time record and here's your beta record, which right now are the exact same thing. But I'm getting like I'm getting like 18 to 20 kills a game, only dying like 9 times, like shooting people through portals, because like I can set up a portal over on this wall here, like, and then I'll set up one over there, and I can just watch through this portal and be completely safe and watch guys run by and just snipe people through portals. So and nobody's doing that.
So here's the I don't know how to phrase this. Here's the kind of shady part about all of this.
What?
So Pokemon Unite actually does the same thing.
Okay.
If you lose 2 games in a row, it will put you against bots. Those bots will have the names or gamer tags or whatever of players that are actively playing the game, but that's not actually them. It is easy bots. So if you have a couple of rough games in a row, it'll make you feel good about yourself by putting you in a really easy game. And Splitgate also does that.
Well, I haven't had a rough game yet, so I've been...
But just be aware that you could be playing against... At any given game, you could be playing against other
bots.
people. Yeah.
Okay. I have not had a bad game yet, so I've not had a negative game or anything else, so I don't... Hopefully it's not what is done to me by any means, but...
I know, because like PUBG at the beginning was doing that.
PUBG Mobile especially had tons of bots, and I was like, why do I have 30 kills in PUBG Mobile and like in one game?
And
it was like, these guys are just
I think
there.
more and more multiplayer games are going to start doing that because it makes people feel good about themselves, which makes them keep playing.
Do you remember when our friend who doesn't play a ton of games played PUBG and got like 5th? You remember that?
That was PUBG Mobile.
No, he sat down here and did it, and then played mobile. You remember that?
Okay, yeah.
I'm like I'm sitting next to him, and I'm like, what is happening? Like he stumbled his way into a couple of kills, and then all of a sudden it's like 9, 8, 7, and he's 5, and the thing's shrinking, and I'm just like, he's like, where do I go? And I was like, I'm freaking out because he could just stumble his way into a chicken dinner. That would be crazy.
Yeah.
And I think he died at 5, but still, that gave him the itch to go download PUBG
Ex-
Mobile, and then he
exactly.
thought he was good at
Yep.
it. So yeah, that's what made me
Maybe,
think
yeah.
of it.
Yep. So I don't know for sure. Like I don't know how Splitgate handles it, but I know that I've seen people say that there are
I wouldn't be
bots in that
surprised.
game,
There
so.
was when I first started, there was some real like dumb things that was like, there's no way that this
Right.
guy is like constantly running like this direction all the time. Like I was just getting kill after kill
Yep.
after kill, but like playing today, no. Like those guys were legitimate players.
Yeah,
Like they were.
You can in Pokemon, you can easily identify when it's a bot game because you'll have like 3 guys just run straight down the lane at you, and
Right.
you're like, okay, no human would be stupid enough to do that.
Yeah, like they're like there's, you know how a guy moves, like good Halo players, how they dance.
Yeah,
These guys are dancing, like they're doing like it's.
Strafing.
Yeah, you're strafing left, right, like that's that kind of thing. So that was the one thing they really need to nerf in that game is the shotgun range. Like it is way too long.
Oh, so it is Halo.
No, I would say this makes
Original
this makes the
Halo.
Halo shotgun look like it's
Oh.
like that it can only do like 5 foot of spray. Like
Oh.
you can hit somebody 20 feet away with single shot on at least on the shoddy snipers maps or stuff like that's a little much. But I guess at the same time, like if it's working for them too, then
Yeah.
as long as you know that, but. Because that would, yeah. But you got to kind of like, you got to be on them. Like I can't shoot, like I can't be aiming over here and then hit you and you'll one shot die 20 feet away. Like I've got to be right on you for it to count. So at least there's doing that. But a shotgun sprays, it doesn't go down pipe.
Yeah.
So I don't know. So that game, I continue to throw 4 or 5 games a week. You know, not anything crazy. So I'm not playing a ton. I think I've maybe played 20 games total, but my KD is like over 3, which is pretty great.
That's pretty good KD.
Mm-hmm. So, but if I'm playing against bots, maybe that's why. I don't know. Who knows?
But in the end of it, like, who cares? If it's fun, it's fun, right?
Right. I'm having a ton of fun with it.
So.
It's yeah. The other game I've been playing is, I think it's an older game, and you and I actually played the demo of this at PAX. It's called Boomerang Foo. Do you
We
remember
did.
this? It was like emojis, like food emojis, and they had like you had a boomerang, and it was like all like local multiplayer thing.
Oh yeah.
And the only way you would single kill things. Jason's all confused.
Yeah.
So like you can either slice like a sword, or you can throw it boomerang style, and you just slice right through them, and it's single rounds. Like one death, you go around, you play to like 10. Whoever gets 10 kills first, and all these random rounds wins. And there's little power ups and stuff here and there. I was looking for games on. Well, this is when I was going to download Pokemon Unite. And I'm looking for games to take with me on this trip, and I've been using my $5 a month at GameStop to just get myself eShop credit for this. So I've got all this eShop credit. Well, this was on sale for $5. I was like, this is like, there was a demo of it. So I was like, also, let's play the demo of this, see if you like it. She was like, oh my gosh, this is great. And then, yeah, so she loved it.
I remember that being pretty fun, but also really buggy when we played it.
Yeah, it's
so-
not buggy
Okay.
now.
But also, yeah, we played an early demo. So.
That was 2 years ago
Yeah.
now that we went to PAX. So, yeah, Jason's having quite
The most recent update was called Grilling Spree.
yes, grilling spree. Yeah, like,
That's awesome.
and you just like the unlocks in it are just like outfits for your emoji, so you can get like sunglasses for your cheeseburger emoji. Like it's dumb. Like, and my daughter thinks it's hilarious that like she got herself a sombrero
that's
for
because
her
it is.
avocado.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
like,
hilarious.
Well, that is pretty.
Yeah.
That's a great sentence.
I got a sombrero for my avocado.
That's fantastic.
we have a
The
podcast episode name. Yeah.
Yep. There you go. Yeah.
So she's getting, so we were having fun with that, and then like, so her friends come over, and like they're like, what is this? Like, this looks fun. And so now so you can play it with the what do you call it, the Joy-Cons. So we just flip the,
Oh,
because
sure.
it's move with the control stick, dash, boomerang, swipe,
That's
3
it.
buttons.
Yeah, that's
So you can easily just throw that on like a Joy-Con thing, and you can play, I think, 6 people.
I was gonna say
So
how many? It's
yeah,
up to
so
6. Okay.
so yeah, you can hook. So all these kids are over here just cracking up at like.
I went over to Elson Page's house and I played Boomerang Foo. You gotta make sure you tell them how to
That
say
shit's
it.
foo, yeah, I know, but it is FU there, that's for sure. But yeah, they're all getting a huge kick out of slicing donuts and sushi and everything else. So, the thing is like it's one of those games that, I mean, you can be, I mean, not a great, I mean, Elsa's pretty decent at video games, but like even at that, like anybody can pick this up and just play it and have fun with it, and not like I can't go in there and just dominate. Like she's also still going to get some kills. You can throw bots in there too. So if it's just her and I, you can throw 2 bots in so that like everybody gets other kills and stuff. And so it's decently fun. Like especially for $5.
August 13th, 2020, when it launched. The other games that are similar are Ultra Food Mess, Lunchapalooza, Party Panic, Unstoppable, and Cake Bash.
So unfortunately,
Does not qualify for
eligible
GOTY.
for Game of the
No,
Year.
and that's perfectly fine. I was not shooting for this to be a game of the year,
But
but
Boomerang Foo, it's a different game.
Yeah.
Does the DLC expansion of Grilling Spree count? Is
Sure,
that okay.
because the name
Best-
is incredible.
best DLC of the year.
Grilling Spree.
Well, we did say there's I think
Grillimanjaro.
I think
Yeah, see? It works. That's fantastic.
double grill, triple grill, smoker.
That's great. That's so great.
Yeah. So, but yeah, we were gonna do DLC of the year or like our expansion of the year, weren't we? Because there's been a couple
We could.
this year.
Why
that have
not?
that have been all right. Like
Yep.
with obviously with the integrate and intermission stuff.
That'll be a tough one to beat.
Yeah, grilling.
That'll be tough. Grilling Spree or intermission?
Yeah. Yeah.
Grilling Spree, of course.
Grilling Spree wins. So, yeah, Jason, what'd you play today?
I played a beta.
A beta? Did you play the Back for Blood beta?
I did.
Mm-hmm. I was wanting to do this, and I was like, I'll mess with it later.
Did you play Left 4 Dead?
Yeah. Yeah.
I know you
You
did.
know why I played
because
it.
we played it together.
played
Only
it
ever
a-
on easy because that game is very, 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 very hard.
Yeah, it is.
So Back for Blood appears to be
That.
Left 4 Dead.
Left 4 Dead. More of that. The
Awesome.
difference is there are perks that you can carry into each match. There is a base, so they've done the Destiny Division thing where you have your main lobby where you can go do cosmetics or perks that you want to take into a match. You can menu there. The perks are either cards is what they are. So you activate cards and it's called card packs, which is a little confusing because it's not, if you're looking at that, you may not understand quite what you're getting into, but the cards are just your augments
Are
to your
they
character.
Consumable?
No.
Oh, okay.
You just pick a variety of them, and then I believe you upgrade them as you
Gotcha.
play. So that was a little bit hard to understand, but otherwise it's go from A to B, take a break at B, safe house, go from B to C, take a break at the C, safe house, C to D, and finish up your level. I do believe if we were talking about playing this eventually together that there is a campaign. So that's something that we can solve through on Game Pass and play if you guys are interested
Yeah.
in.
Yeah,
I'm
I
very
think that
interested.
sounds like a good time.
How many? Is it 4?
It is 4.
Okay.
4
We might need a fourth, but
max.
we're sure we can
4.
find a fourth.
Yeah, we could probably find a 4th.
It's fine. I'm glad it's a Game Pass game because I will certainly play it and enjoy playing it with friends, but
Mhm.
this would be a tough proposition for
Yeah.
60 for me because I've already seen this formula
Mm.
and there's probably no way I will ever be able to recapture the way playing Left 4 Dead 1 felt with people.
Oh, no.
Because it was new, it hadn't been done before, and there really was something to that kind of level of teamwork and the frantic nature of
Yep.
working together, trying to save one another, and hilarity would often ensue. Like, I don't know. It's not bad, but that was of a place and time, and it probably is going to hit all those notes but not do much new for us. Maybe I'm wrong.
Maybe
but-
we'll get nostalgic, and that'll carry us through.
Yeah, I think it'll be perfectly fine to play, especially if we're able to do like a difficulty setting and just
Yeah.
mow through it.
Oh yeah, whatever the easiest one is, please.
It'll be fun.
Oh, I forgot to mention that about Axiom Verge. There's an accessibility option where you can increase or decrease enemy damage and player damage
Oh, that's
at will.
interesting.
So I doubled player damage and halved enemy damage because that first game was very hard.
Yeah.
But hopefully more games, including stuff like this, allow you to augment that stuff so that you're not just stuck up against a wall all the time. Because in
Yeah.
Left 4 Dead, it did feel, after you had 3 or 4 unsuccessful runs, it was like, am I ever going to be able to do this type of thing? So, but with the permanent stuff, the card packs or whatever, at least maybe there's a sense of, well, I'm upgrading this at least, or
I think that's what that system is.
okay.
I don't know for sure because I only finished one chapter, so we'll see. It's more Left 4 Dead from what I can tell, which
Yeah.
isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's been long enough. So we'll see. I don't know when that launches.
It's
October. I think it's like right before Halloween, if I
Yeah.
remember right.
Okay. Yeah, it worked fine, so I think their servers are ready. From what I could tell, I played it yesterday. No, Friday. I played it Friday night.
Maybe we should try to do a good old-fashioned 4 TVs and 4 Xboxes in the same room.
Now we're talking.
Yeah.
All right.
Just pencil in a Saturday evening and just try
Sure.
I would do that.
Yeah.
I'd be down for that. Yeah.
I have not done that in years, and that sounds amazing.
That would be good, especially with that game together.
Mhm.
That'd be good. Yeah, but that was it. That was the only new thing I played. I played more Death's Door, more Persona Strikers, and more Flight Simulator. So I spent some time doing some other stuff. But
I also played Flight Simulator.
I watched Logan play a little bit of Flight
You watched
Simulator.
me play Flight Simulator. I did the fly by my house, fly by where I grew up. I think I'm good to uninstall it now.
Yeah.
I think I'm good. I flew from Bloomington to Peoria.
how was it?
It didn't. It was long. It was a
It's-
long trip.
Even that
It's
10-minute
a simulator.
It's a simulator, and they ain't messing around. That thing's
Yep.
you simulate that thing, and I don't know why it wouldn't let me like complete my landing or whatever. I mean, I landed, but it was like I didn't do what it wanted me to
Well,
do, and I couldn't figure out how to get out
I
of it.
think you were on the wrong side of the airport. I think the
Oh.
marker was on the other side, but there was no way for your plane to reverse. So he was just kind of like stuck up against this
It was
building.
yeah. It was like go to the tarmac, and it was like yeah, go pull into your area, and it was like I don't know what happened here. So and now I'm just stuck, and then I flipped the plane over on top of the.
It might be a good idea for them to put in like just take me back 30 seconds.
Yeah, I can see.
Give me that
Yeah,
Forza
sure.
reverse.
Yeah.
Sure.
Like
Yeah.
yeah. So it's neat.
Yeah.
It's a neat thing. I'm glad it exists for those people who really want to simulate flight.
Right.
Looks really nice.
Yeah, that's a neat little thing to fly down your road. I crashed it into my pond because I tried a water landing.
Right there?
right over there.
Same
yeah.
thing I did over at our place.
Just crashed it right into your pond.
Yep.
Yep.
Drove out of there too and then got stuck on a house.
Mm-hmm. Yep, happens. But we got there. So, yeah.
Kept trying to land by my house, but I landed in the pond, and I landed in the cornfield and flipped the plane.
Tried to land in my backyard, didn't work either. Like I need a helicopter to do that. This
Yeah, I know.
planes comes in a little
I
too
get
hot.
so excited, I get impatient, you know.
Mhm.
And then all of a sudden, I'm in the water over our beach house.
Happens.
It's neat though. I mean, you go anywhere in the world and it's there, which is kind of amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. But I'll take those 100 gigs back.
Yeah. No kidding.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember what I uninstalled, but it was a hard decision for sure. But then I had room for Back for Blood, so
I think I installed Halo 5.
I think I did the same exact thing.
So I was like, I'm not gonna play this anymore. Like, I'll play.
We're so close.
Yeah, I know. I
right?
was like, I'll play some Master Chief Collection maybe still, but I'm not touching Halo 5 again because that's another 100 gigs. So,
massive.
any other gaming stuff this week?
I tried Xbox.com/play.
What is that?
iCloud Gaming.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Cloud gaming.
Oh, okay.
I was working on that as well. What did you do and how did it work?
So I tried it on my LTE connection.
Mm-hmm.
It did not work so well.
Mm-hmm.
Here you go, cloud gaming, which
Oh,
is
okay.
just xbox.com/play. And then if you save it to your
Yeah.
iOS,
Yeah, I've got an app here just called Xbox
Same
Cloud
thing.
Gaming.
Yep. And so it pulls up everything on
So-
Game Pass that you have installed.
Are you streaming from your Xbox at home?
I don't know the answer to
No,
that.
you are not.
Okay.
I believe it has access to your library
Mm-hmm.
and will verify that you have something installed, but
It would not play, like, for example, I tried to play Scarlet Nexus, but because I don't own it digitally,
Oh.
I could not play it.
so let's see. I don't have Like a Dragon installed, but it's a Game Pass game. So I'm launching it now. We'll see what happens. Because I only played The Ascent on here, and that's a game I
It
have
probably
installed.
won't load because you don't have a controller
Nope.
attached.
Yep, it's loading.
Oh, it is?
So anything on confirming live here, anything on look,
Mm-hmm.
if you want to do that, you can.
Some games don't have don't work. You can't play with touch.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wonder if Like a
Um,
Dragon's like that.
Because I tried to play The Ascent that way.
Oh, okay.
Doesn't work.
Yeah, that's how I play. It looks like a Dragon does
Mm-hmm.
because it's throwing up the prompt. So let's see if this works, Caleb. Here we go.
Okay.
And it just synced my save because it knows that I've played Like a Dragon before.
Mm.
Let's hit A.
There it is.
Like a Dragon
Interesting.
on my phone right there. So the entire Game Pass library is right here ready for you to go.
That's awesome.
I do not know, Logan, if it will recognize that you have a There you go. So that's on LTE. Or maybe I'm
You're
even
just
on
trying to get me to
Logan's
play
network.
Like a Dragon again.
I
That's
am.
all this
Mhm.
is.
That's what this is. But notice the connection hitches there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not perfect. It's definitely in beta. But if this does fully work, this is pretty effing impressive.
Yeah.
And that's it's a little cramped in here. I use touch controls. That's funny.
Yeah.
So if
But
if
at the
this
same time,
does
you
work,
can hook an Xbox controller up to it with Bluetooth and.
I played the Ascent that way on my phone.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yep, and it worked just fine.
Mhm.
Once I got into a Wi-Fi connection, it was great.
Huh.
So I sat my phone up at the dinner
Mhm.
table and I played the Ascent for like 15 minutes just to mess around with it.
Mhm.
It was fine. Any iOS device or laptop, it's literally a URL, xbox.com/play.
Slash play. Yeah.
And it is an ultimate members only thing
Yes.
for the beta.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if you're ever traveling
Yeah.
for some reason.
Yeah.
There you
Yeah,
go.
I'm likely going to do that and not over LTE. I think that's the thing. Is
I
it's
had a
not
terrible
really gonna-
time with it. So I don't,
Mhm.
just to confirm, I don't have that installed on my Xbox. So it's everything in the Game Pass library,
Mhm.
and it doesn't have to be on your local device, which is pretty crazy, actually.
Because it is just streaming it. It's not installed or anything else. But yeah, like
That's
it's-
wild.
But then you end up with like, okay, you have a disc version of a game you want to try to play. You're not gonna be able to play it.
Yeah, I was going to try to launch my disc game, but I didn't.
They
it's-
did talk about at some point that you would be able to remote into your Xbox and play that way.
Could you
Okay.
then mirror your screen to a TV?
Maybe, and I wonder how the input lag would be there.
Not
Yeah.
right now, as this as this little thing is developed. Not in the beta anyway. Not that I know of.
Well, I mean, you could just do it through iOS.
Yeah, if you were to iOS this thing to an Apple TV or whatever, like, could it work?
I'm curious about that.
We'll mess with it after we get done. We can
Yeah.
go upstairs and try it out.
So this is also my impression. So I know I have a digital license to Death's Door, but it's not in the Game Pass library. So that's also, I think,
So there's some limitations, I think, to what's licensed to work on cloud gaming.
okay. So even some disc games may work though. Like if you have the disc inside of your.
Maybe.
I'm trying to think of what I have in there right now, and I was going to try to search it. I can't think of what's in there. So that would be my other question. is will it launch the game that I have, local license that I have, but maybe you're right. It's just the Game Pass libraries, everything they've licensed to use it for.
Yeah, I'm just looking at stuff here, and on this beta thing, I'm not really sure.
So that was my last game thing. I didn't play a ton on it, but I tried it, and it's a pretty impressive little piece of tech, I gotta say.
Yeah. All right. Moving on to can we do movies real quick?
Yeah, well, bridge the gap between games and TV.
Games and TV.
Talking
here.
about a game movie.
Talking about a game movie. So I went and saw Free Guy this week. Went to a theater, wore a mask the entire time, didn't even get food or anything else. So it was just
Smart
like,
man.
Yeah, we were like, because this is only in theaters. So, because that's just the way life is right now. But anyway, this movie's pretty good. They did the thing that a lot of movies do, or they didn't do the thing that a lot of movies do when referencing when video games are your reference here. They didn't try to reference something every 30 seconds. There were a couple of nods, so Free Guy, the premise of this, I don't know if you guys know the premise of this. Yeah, Ryan Reynolds is an NPC inside of a video game called Free City, which is basically an amalgamation of Grand Theft Auto, Fortnite, and Minecraft, kind of all rolled into one. And essentially he becomes like aware that he's an NPC and is like, I'm not doing this anymore. Like, this is weird. Like, why would I just work at this bank all day? Like, he wants to have more in his life. So that's kind of the premise of the movie. I don't want to get too much into the rest of it is, because then I feel like it's one big spoiler, because there's a lot more to this movie than that. That's kind of the first 15 minutes, and then afterwards it goes a completely different route that I wasn't expecting, and is actually very good.
Okay.
Jodie Comer plays... Is it Jodie or Julie?
Jodie.
It's Jodie. I don't know why I kept wanting to say Julie. Jodie Comer. Kind of a completely different role than yeah, it's like, sorry, like random assassin to like kind of some semi-comedic movie, but yeah, it was the fact that they probably only did like 2 or 3 references to actual video games in the first 95% of that movie. There is then a 2-minute scene at the end of the movie where they go like super reference heavy for a couple of minutes, and that's about it.
Oh, okay.
And it's even like more pop culture / video game heavy in the last couple of minutes, and it's like
sounds great.
So because it's not like the whole thing. They're constantly like, oh yeah, Mega Man's here,
that
and
was
Mario's here, and
Ready Player One was just
right. Ready Player One was a trash fire because of that kind of stuff, and it's not trying to stick to anything. Like, it doesn't have a canon. So that's one other thing that makes it good, is because it's what it is.
Right.
This movie is this movie. It's isolated in this. It doesn't have to be something else. It's not. So yeah, if from a video game movie standpoint, like, this is pretty high up there, from just because it's not tied to a franchise, and it may not even. I don't even know if it is a video game movie. Like Pixels was supposed to be a video game movie.
God.
And that game,
I didn't see Pixels. Did you guys see Pixels?
No,
I
will never
caught
watch that
10
movie.
minutes of it one time, like midway through, and that thing was really bad. Ready Player One, pretty bad.
Space Jam 2, pretty okay.
Not a video game movie. Well, maybe no.
Yeah,
it is
it's
kind
a
of a video game movie.
movie.
Yeah, that's a video game movie.
I have a thing to say about video game movies after we're done here. Finish.
No, but I think that's where I was going, which is like, most video game movies just aren't that great. But like, I will say, like, oddly enough, Ryan Reynolds again, but Detective Pikachu was pretty darn good.
I want to see that.
It's really good.
Yeah.
It's on HBO.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, it's worth watching. And
my only problem with that, which would not be a problem for you, but my only problem with that movie really was that they did not do enough Pokemon. There's only like 8 of them in there total. But
I was
for
like,
you guys,
here comes Pokemon player. Here
Right.
he comes. Yeah,
you guys are like, oh, those are the 8 I recognize. So it's
it
fine.
would be less than that, probably. Like, I've heard of Charizard.
It's all Gen 1 Pokemon,
Yeah.
which is all I'm going to ever know.
I've heard of Charmander.
And like Psyduck is prominently in the movie, and
Squirtle. Squirtle in there?
Squirtle might be in the background.
yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's just like in the
Okay.
background.
We did this game already. I could name 4 or 5, I think. Pikachu, Squirtle. Yeah, I wouldn't have known Psyduck, honestly.
You already said Charizard.
Charizard, Charmander.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, that might be it. There's the one that flies.
Gotta catch 'em all.
There's the one
Bird.
that flies.
I feel like he's like a phoenix-like guy.
Pidgeotto?
No, never mind. No,
Phoenix
I can't.
like that would be Moltres.
Oh, then
probably.
never mind. Yeah, I wouldn't have known that.
Mm.
All right.
Yeah, I think I.
Well, there's Arctic Uno, Zapdos, and Moltres.
Of course, yeah, Moltres.
Okay,
yes.
of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once
I'm
you missed the evolution part.
I know. Gosh, silly me.
So anyway, I recommend the movie. I think it's a pretty good movie.
Logan says 5 stars for Free Guy.
I don't know if I'd say 5 stars. I'd say 4.
4?
How many bags of popcorn?
72.
72 bags of popcorn.
Wow, that's a lot.
Man,
That's a record. I think.
how many cases of pickles?
It's always 30.
30.
It's always 30.
So
Always
to-
30 cases.
quick aside.
Mm.
So at work we're doing a piece of paper, and we have a game of the month, a anime of the month, and a book of the month. So when you finish that, you go up and you rate the thing on the board and give like a your short opinion on it. Well, one of my new students that just started didn't realize it was a rating of the thing. He thought that people were putting the date that they finished it. So he wrote 6:30, and I'm like, did you just rate something 6 out of 30?
Yes, it was a 6 out of 30. Which is oddly enough 1 out of 5.
Ish.
Yeah, I think that works. So,
Yeah, I'll definitely see that when it's not in theaters. I'm not going to a theater right now, so
don't blame you.
maybe never again. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, TV. So yeah,
Wait.
do you have something else?
They released a trailer. We were talking about video game movies.
Oh yeah.
Which made me think of the Mortal Kombat movie,
Mm-hmm.
which you thought was fine. I thought, and you liked it maybe more than I did.
No.
Oh, really?
No.
Oh, maybe I liked it more than you.
Yeah, I think that was the case.
Did you guys ever watch Scorpion's Revenge, the animated thing?
No, you've told us about it. I never.
So
watched
that's
it.
awesome.
Mm.
For the record, that's the best Mortal Kombat movie.
Yeah, you were telling us that.
And the
was better one.
sequel was just announced, and they released a
Oh.
trailer.
Oh, cool.
So they are making more of that, which is basically the best version of the Mortal Kombat story. Like they're following the chronological order, where Sub-Zero and Scorpion started, Raiden and Outworld are introduced, and then
they
they're
went with
expanding
Kronika.
on the tournament. It's basically like Mortal Kombat 2. And it's
Better
the best.
than-
It's the best. Yeah, that movie is the best Mortal Kombat movie I've seen.
I'll have to
Yeah.
give it a whirl. I think
It's
it is
good.
like, I think you can literally watch it on YouTube for like 99 cents.
Can you?
Yeah, I think it's one of those kind of things. I've seen it pop up.
I'm
before.
excited to watch the next one. It's good.
Yeah, I think we've had a couple of shows in and a couple of shows start. Dave ended.
How many episodes was Dave?
10.
10.
Have you finished it?
Yeah. Did you?
So did I.
Okay. So I hated that last episode up until the last like minute of it, and then I was like, "Oh, you got me, Dave." Damn it.
I might have like my eyes might have been welling up
I
a little
know,
bit.
right.
Man, I was in the same
Yeah.
boat with you. I was like, this. How are they going? What are they ending here? Like this, the episode's about over, and then it was just like,
Oh, that's what they're doing. Yep.
I'm like sitting there. It's like 9:30 in the morning. I'm just like laying in
Won't
bed.
spoil anything because I think this is probably something you should watch.
This is. If you watched any of Dave this year,
Not this season though.
it's.
This season is really up and down. It has its peaks and valleys, for me at least.
Yeah.
But the peaks are some of the best.
They are
TV
high
there.
peaks, like really high peaks.
Yeah.
Okay.
The lows are not as low as like. They're just kind of like, oh, this was a filler episode.
Yeah.
Like, but man, there's like probably 4 top tier episodes, like
Yeah.
very highly recommended episodes in there.
Yep.
I think this will probably end up somewhere and I would venture to guess this might be in the top 10 somewhere. Not
We'll
number
see.
one.
We'll
not
see.
not somewhere in the top 10 maybe. Probably my personal top 10 for sure. But yeah, Dave's good this year.
I will watch it.
Yeah.
I like the first season of Dave quite a bit.
Mm.
I'm kind of excited that it's over, so now maybe I can just burn through them all.
Yeah. White Lotus ends tonight.
Oh, that's great. That gives
So-
me 2 shows. I can just
Yeah.
power
Yeah,
through.
and
And
White
that's only
Lo-
6 episodes.
Yeah,
so
it's
you're-
only 6. Well, but the thing is, it's about
Yeah.
the equivalent because Dave's a half hour and White Lotus is an
Yeah.
hour. And I'm really looking forward to tonight. I might, just as soon as we're done, go up and watch.
That's what I've been doing every week after we.
Oh,
we've
is
been
go and
done,
watch White
just go
Lotus?
home and watch
It's
White
so
Lotus. Yeah.
good.
It's
I
in the
really
Sunday
enjoy
tradition.
White Lotus. So yeah, I might end up doing that here. New show. Did anybody else have any old shows they finished up or anything they've wrapped up this week?
I just watched Castlevania. I finished the 2nd and 3rd season of Castlevania. That's how I spent my
okay.
time.
All right.
No.
Anything else you finished up or
I don't think anything else finished up this week. Just the regulars.
just watching regular?
Yeah.
Yeah, Ted Lasso. Did you watch Ted Lasso this week?
Yeah, it was weird watching a Christmas episode in August.
In August?
but
No kidding. Yeah, it's a Christmas episode in August.
it was a really good Christmas.
It was a good
episode.
Christmas episode, but yeah, really awkward.
What
watching-
episode are we on of that
4?
right now?
Four, I
4.
think.
I have finished 1 and 2.
Okay.
I've watched episode 1 and 2.
I thought 3 was going to be a bummer, and then it ended up being a real good episode.
That show's so solid. It's
Yep.
so dependable. God,
Yep.
it's the big warm blankie that we all need.
Yep.
It's great.
Unless Led Tasso shows up, and then we're all in for a hurting.
Oh, you don't know about.
Oh, that was
Fantastic.
episode 3.
Yep.
Oh God.
Yep. Don't eat.
I'm
Just
not
stop
even-
talking.
Nope. Mm-hmm. God, I thought that was 2. I don't know what. All right. New things. I watched something new this week. That's FX on Hulu. I don't know if it's properly on FX or not. I don't even know what's actually on FX
There's
anymore.
there's no way of knowing at this
Mhm.
point.
Right. I'm not really sure because Dave, I think, is only on Hulu, right?
I don't
I feel like
know.
Dave is on FX.
It is. I don't know.
I think so.
I give up.
Yeah.
Either way, this show is called Reservation Dogs.
I also watched this.
That show's great.
I like the show a lot.
I do too.
I-
The first episode,
yeah.
but then that second episode hit.
So yeah, I think the thing that I kept coming back to with the show is trying to figure out why I like it and why I think it's like I think it's really good, but just not quite on the great side yet. But I think I figured it out.
Okay.
So I think what it is there's kind of 2 categories of shows for me.
Mhm.
There's plot-driven shows and there's character-driven shows.
Mhm.
But the great shows do both of those things simultaneously.
Yes.
And I think so far it's been that Reservation Dogs has been a plot-driven show. But
Mm-hmm.
we're starting in the second episode especially, we're starting to get into more of the character development.
Yeah, like episode 1 was definitely like, hey, here's who these people are and why they exist.
Yep.
Second episode, you got a little deeper into it, and like, there's the one line even from the one guy who's like, the guy's like, well, I'm the leader, and they're all like, bullshit, you're the leader.
Yeah.
It's like,
So I'm hoping that it continues down that path because I think this could be a great show. Right so far, those first 2 episodes they're right there. But
yeah,
I
like
wanted
the
to go
first
further.
episode for me was pretty. I was like, I don't know about this,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I'll give it another shot because it's getting highly reviewed. And there was this because right now there's only the 2 episodes out.
Yep. Well,
Yeah.
the third one, as of the time we're done
We're
recording,
done. It'll
here.
be out. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, because they release on Mondays, which are technically like Sunday at midnight. So
That's
it's
the weird thing,
11 p.m. tonight. It'll be on. But this is yeah, man, this is solid. This is another Taika Waititi show, which I mean, he was one who developed What We Do in the Shadows, and
Is that coming back?
Yep.
Yes,
Couple
I
weeks,
just saw
actually.
a thing. Yeah, it was like going to be out in a week or so, which is also a great show. He's been involved with a lot of things recently. I mean, he was doing some Marvel stuff. He was involved in that Free Guy movie. So yeah, seems to be kind of everywhere right now. He's like the it guy right now.
To clarify, Reservations Dogs is just a Hulu FX joint, and Dave is a proper FX.
Okay.
So
They both refer to themselves as FX on Hulu. So
yeah, I don't know
it's-
what that's all about. It's very confusing,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
it
I
ends
don't
up not
know.
mattering. because it's all on Hulu anyway.
Yeah, that's yeah. If you have the service,
At
then
some
you
point in
got
time,
it.
those networks are going away.
Yeah.
So. But yeah, I've definitely enjoyed that show a lot. So
Yeah, you also like, you don't see. Well, we actually had 2 this year with Rutherford Falls, but you don't see a lot of Native American based shows.
Which, by the way,
so-
she was in that second
Yeah.
episode, which it took me a second because she wasn't wearing her big glasses.
totally different character.
Yeah,
so
and a
that was-
completely
yeah.
different character. Yeah, which who knows if we'll ever see her again. Like
Right.
that could have been a one-off. Like, yep, she worked at the clinic.
Yep. But that's cool. Like, it's just something you don't see. So it's cool to
Mm-hmm.
see finally a untapped market.
And yeah, I don't want to spoil anything for Jason because I was his Bears spirit guide.
Yeah.
Man, first time I was like, okay.
There's the thing that the best moment for me so far is actually when they're walking just by like an abandoned building and they were all dressed in like the suits and ties. And it's literally the scene from Reservoir Dogs.
That's
yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good show. Yeah, I say they're all like, what are they? Probably like between 14 and 16, probably
Yeah.
something like that. And yeah, they just live in this shit town. Yeah, it's interesting for sure. Yeah. But yeah, I think that's all I've watched. Anybody anything else?
Brooklyn Nine-Nine came back.
Oh, that's right. This is
Final
final season.
season.
for
Final
that,
season.
Right? Mhm.
And you can really tell that they put a lot of thought into how they would handle this season, with all of the current events that have happened over the past
Yeah.
year and a half. Andre Brower.
Brower.
Brower, right.
Brower.
Yeah.
His character on the show. Do you guys watch this show at all?
No, never watched it.
No,
So-
I know who all the actors though are.
Yeah, there's a
now.
lot. Yeah.
He plays he's obviously a black man, and he plays a gay police captain. And I think in the first episode, there's an absolutely brilliant written line where he's having some personal problems with him and his boyfriend, and who have been stable through the entire show.
Mm.
And one of the other characters asks him like, "What's going on? Why now? Why is this a problem now?" And he says, over the past year, it's been difficult for everybody just to be in this city, but it's especially been difficult to be a black man. It's especially been difficult to be a gay man. It's especially been difficult to be a police captain, and everything has collapsed on me. So it was just like, whoa. Yeah, they put some serious thought into how they're going to handle the characters this season. But then the great part about it was they immediately followed it up with a bunch of jokes that were hilarious.
Right.
So they're taking it seriously. They're understanding that people may or may not be on the police officer's side, but also keeping it lighthearted enough to be entertaining. And I think they're splitting that gap just amazingly so far.
That's a tightrope to walk.
Yep.
Yeah, that would be. That's for sure.
I don't envy that writer's job.
And the other thing that I started watching is Atypical, which is on Netflix. It just finished up. It was 4 seasons, and the 4th season just aired about a month ago. I don't know how I missed this.
Atypical. Okay.
So it's about an 18-year-old boy who's autistic, and he's trying to branch out on his own for the first time. So he's considering getting a girlfriend. He's trying to pick a college, and his family around him is also going through changes. They're trying to support him, but it's also a very
Okay.
difficult situation.
Okay.
And I don't know how the show went under the radar for so long, because it is really, really good.
Okay.
It's got
Jennifer Jason Leigh, Michael Rappaport.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Jennifer Jason Leigh and Michael Rappaport are I don't know.
The parents. I
They're the
assume?
parents in the show, and Michael Rappaport is probably the best on this show. Like his acting on this is incredible. I didn't know he had that.
I didn't either.
Yeah, I mean, is
honestly.
it dramatic acting? Yeah, I mean,
I'm yet
it's-
to see it.
Yeah.
So that's one reason to look at it.
Yeah, He's
Wow.
really, really good on that show. I think the show is like criminally underrated. I've watched the first 2 seasons. The first season has 8 episodes, and the second one has 10, and they're half hour.
Okay.
But I don't know how like more people aren't talking about this show. It's up there with some of the best shows on TV, and like I barely heard anything about it until this year when it ended. So,
That's interesting.
I'm hoping it ends strongly, but I have yet to watch the content that released this year. So
The 2021 season 4 you have
Right.
not watched yet.
Yep.
Launched in 2017. Is the season 4 the finale?
Yep.
Okay.
Planned finale.
Planned
So
finale.
it's not like they had to end early or anything.
Oh, okay. So this was which for a Netflix show even.
Right. Yeah. So I would highly recommend that show if you guys get a chance.
Okay. Wow. Okay, I'll have to see if I have room for some of the heavy in this.
Yeah.
It's light and it's a dramedy for sure.
Okay.
It's not gonna you're not gonna be weeping, but you're not gonna be rolling on the floor laughing either.
Okay. All right.
I forgot to tell you as well. I did watch about 3 episodes of I Think You Should Leave.
I don't even know what that is.
With Tim Robinson.
Yeah. That's I
love
they're either
that
they are
show.
either home runs or they are big whiffs. Boy, like there's some like some funny stuff, and then it's just like that wasn't funny at all. And
Has this ever happened to you?
I was just like, what, the coffins?
No, the plumbers with the toilets with the tiny holes.
Oh, I haven't come across that one.
Really? I
No,
thought that was the first episode.
I don't think.
Maybe I'm wrong.
The first thing that they start, the first episode that at least I watched, maybe I watched season 1 or something. I don't except because are they
Yeah,
on,
I think that is the first episode of season 1.
maybe I started on season
Maybe you
2
started
then or
on season
something,
2.
but like yeah, it was just like cheaply made coffins and bodies were just falling
That's
out of
season 2.
bodies were just falling out of the bottoms of coffins everywhere. It was like a reality show, and they were following people around. Like they were like, how do you have so many videos of people falling out of their coffins at funerals? Like, and they were like, and most of them were naked. They were like, I thought the bodies, like they were all dressed up. Like it was.
My favorite moment for that show is in season 1, and there's a car. Oh, yeah, there's a car shaped like a giant hot dog. Okay, and it crashed through the front of a department store. So it's this hot dog car, and then Tim Robinson is just standing there in a hot dog costume. And people are like, what happened? He's like, man, I don't know. Somebody must have drove this hot dog car through this it's pretty funny.
Okay.
Yeah, as you said,
It's all
there's
stuff like that, though.
okay.
It's just like he'll put
Okay.
himself in some awkward situation, and then it'll go on for 2 or 3 minutes, and that's
right.
it.
Like as I say, some of them are like the one where he just couldn't stop eating the sandwich, like underneath his shirt, like he was all upset that somebody called a meeting during lunchtime, so he put a hot dog, like I should say it was a sandwich, it was a hot dog. He slid it underneath his shirt, and like during the meeting, he just kept like going,
Like very obviously.
like. I don't know. I didn't find it that funny, but like obviously, like it was. But then there are other things that were like that's hilarious, and then the other next thing like that wasn't funny really at all. So it's like I said, it's hit or miss for me. Like
Yeah.
and most of the episodes are like 15 to 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Like they're pretty quick. So yeah, but I don't know. Maybe I'll.
Yeah, Jason, I don't know if you'd like it. There's a lot of awkward humor in it, so I don't know if you'd be into it, but I love it.
I gave
it's
it a
my
shot.
type of humor.
We'll see if I end up watching more of it or not. I don't know, but
Yeah, the Beef Boys is about as far as I think I can go. Boo.
all right. Anybody have anything else?
No, but I am looking forward to another show that's starting tonight, Heels.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to checking that out.
Yeah, that could be
Network.
okay. Stars.
Is it Stars or Showtime?
I think it's Stars.
Yeah, it's Stars. You're right. Yep.
Yeah, Heels it's about wrestlers.
Oh.
The first episode is called Kayfabe.
But is this a Is this
Drama.
a scripted show?
Scripted
Yes.
drama starring Stephen Amell and somebody else. I'll stick to the bullshit wrestling that I will continue to watch.
And this doesn't have actors listed
I will.
on this app.
I'll watch AEW.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, I don't know if there was any other names in there at all.
I
think they- yeah.
top credits.
don't even think-
Alexander Ludwig.
Yeah, I don't
Stephen
think they got
Amell.
like other wrestlers to be in the show either, which I thought was odd. I figured that'd be like full of
Yeah.
like semi-retired guys or whatever, or just guys who maybe not even be that popular, but just to get somebody on the show to do the stunts even more than anything.
Okay, the main character's name is Ace Spade, which is a great wrestler
That is a
name.
great wrestler name. That's kind of sad that no
And
one's
then
had
the other character is Jack Spade, which is also really good.
the Ace and Jack Spade. Couple of spades they are.
Yep.
Yep. All right. Well, this has been the Master of Unlocking podcast for this every other week, whatever it is we're doing. We'll be back whenever we feel like it. So you just stay right there and we'll give you something maybe. Good night, everyone.